Good evening. Once again, actually. Um, I've been reading this statement by the Nemkhav Federation, as I'm sure many delegates have undoubtedly read. Um, I would like to jump right in and actually begin with a reading of the document bit by bit, and I will, of course, address it uh, as we read it. Um, in the first main paragraph, uh, um, the statement brings up that there's been no business, and of course, they took it to the extreme to take it in its literal form and not its metaphorical form, as it was undoubtedly meant to serve, especially since I'm the person who they are discussing. Um, and Mr. Austin, uh, pardon me, um, Mademoiselle Caesar. I made that mistake in the last speech, and I apologize, but let us move on. Uh, Mademoiselle Austin explained that we had endured weeks of his chairmanship, and I find this kind of ironic because uh, they described this comment as being awfully melodramatic, which makes me believe as if this well, rather short statement was constructed by many people over many long hours, and yet it is still short. Um, and of course, melodramatic is often actually a word used by Mr. Mihansk, um, which would lead me to believe that this statement was helped to be drafted by him, an individual who just last night, interestingly, reassured me that this was merely an event. And of course, I find this afternoon, upon returning home, that apparently his government did not think so. And rather, I believe that's lying. Because you told me one thing, and then you go back later and say that, oh, we didn't say that. To me, that's lying. Um, and let's see, coup d'etat wasn't a solution. It wasn't even a coup d'etat. A motion of no confidence, which, by the way, is a perfectly legal and constitutional and parliamentary way to show the majority's lack of confidence in an individual, um, was simply put a massive overreaction to a relatively small problem. Apparently, the majority of the GUM having no confidence in its chair is a relatively small problem. That is not something that I believe when the majority of the GUM shows that it has no confidence in the chair. Um, so to say that uh, that is a massive overreaction, I believe, is rather untrue and completely false. Typically, when someone says that it's a massive overreaction, there's actually some sort of evidence to say as to why it's a massive overreaction. Um, uh, However, when a majority of the people hold no confidence in the chair, typically that's not an overreaction. Typically, it would be protesting and boycotting a quorum to be um, an overreaction. Um, we stand firm in our belief that the coup was premeditated, and that some individuals participated in the coup for personal gain. And now they've come out and right said it. And I congratulate them with that because before they were just dancing around saying that, of course, I support this for my personal gain, which, as I said in the last speech, is completely not true. Um, I didn't want this stress, and frankly, uh, I was expecting to go up for election in June, so wherever they're getting this information from, I don't know, because if there's an individual out there who's saying that they have evidence that I did this for personal gain, then we need to have a conversation because uh, Obviously, that individual is not someone who's actually very knowledgeable of where I'm coming as a person. Um, Premeditated. You can believe whatever you want for that one. Frankly, it was discussed about. Many delegates speak about many different things. In fact, I would say that your entire statement is premeditated and that it is merely for your personal gain. But what exactly would I gain from that? Absolutely nothing. Um, as soon as the motion was proposed, for example, Mr. Sorgel instantly turned on the chair, and certainly did nothing to oppose his ouster. Just because I'm a vice chairman does not mean that I do not have the right to speak my true mind. In fact, I believe that I was speaking my true mind for the many long weeks before then, when I told the chair that he was losing my confidence. The possibility of this being premeditated, underhanded, or opportunistic and traitorous at the very least cannot be dismissed. I never once said that I would die for the chair. That is not being traitorous. Such a word is completely an overreaction. The same word that they use to describe the motion of no confidence. To say that I must resign my personal beliefs, my personal feelings, my, as some delegates have put it before, my freedom of speech in order to serve the chair, in order to serve the GUM. And let us not forget, not only was I vice chair, but I was also a delegate of a member state. That I should have to resign my ability to speak on behalf of my delegation just because I was vice chair is absurd. Clearly, the individuals involved in this reduced themselves to underhanded, manipulative, and power-hungry players in what one Yablockan politician once infamously termed the metagame. This is not a game to me. This is not. If it was a game to me, I assure you I would not be here. There is nothing amusing about being within this organization with having this as a hobby or a profession, whatever you wish to call it or name it. This is not amusing to me. I do this because it is my very political existence, my very political expression. And the fact that some people are now saying that I am doing this for my personal benefit, for my personal benefit of power, is completely absurd. Of all of the member states in this organization, all of the micronations within our micronational community, who have expanded themselves beyond belief, including Nemkhavia, who have created federations, federal republics, whatever you wish to name it, simply for their grandiose glory. To me, no. That is not me. That is not Sandus. Sandus is a small micronation. We admit to that. We say 7 people as our citizens. It's probably more around 3 or 4. Active. Not even. That standard would be very low. I assure you, we have a very small micronation, and glory has nothing to do with it, nor does power. I reaffirm the Federation's uh, intention to boycott Wednesday's quorum, and several other members have agreed to join us in this protest, and so be it. You know, I have a fun history fact, and actually it's rather more of a story to say, that when North Korea invaded South Korea, um, the reason why the United Nations supported uh, attacking for the benefit of South Korea is because the Soviet Union went on boycott. They boycotted the session and they left. They did not send a delegation to the Security Council. And Such a matter was very important, just as electing the vice chair, the acting vice chair, is another very important matter. So if they wish to boycott it, so be it. So be it. They can waste away their vote in this organization. They can. It's their decision. And of course, by discussing with their president, well, trying to discuss with their president, and by discussing with their prime minister, I tried to show that we don't really want that. We want your entire involvement, even if you despise what happened. Which is why I invite every member to come, to be critical. I want you to. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you have a grudge against me. I don't care if you hate me personally. I don't care if you hate me publicly. Come, because this organization serves to help and to work for each and every individual member state. So if you wish to protest, go ahead. However, in their next line, of course, they say that we demand a full apology from the individuals involved in this unwarranted coup, and we encourage other members to join us in our boycott of Wednesday's quorum. You can demand an apology. In fact, New Europe demanded an apology in September of 2009, which began the Insular War, by the way. Uh, Others, of course, know it as the Sandom-Pristinian War. So you can demand your apology. You won't get it. Um, I'm there's nothing apologetic from me, at least, for showing my lack of faith, my lack of confidence in a chair who was not even concerned or knowledgeable in our own conventions, in our own constitution, or even in the basic fact that a chair of such an organization, of such strong-minded individuals, such as micronationalists as we are, should be a strong individual. That is what we need from a chair. Not only a strong individual, but someone who can negotiate. And I understand that I can be a strong individual at times, and not very negotiable. Which is why exactly I would like a vice chair who could be that negotiable individual. And one such individual would have been a member from one of the boycotting members, and that would have been Nemkhav, Mr. Hakimoto. Because not only do I believe that he can be negotiable, but also I made it upon my duty and my oath to the now former chair, Mr. Bradley of Dullahan, that I would seek for his election as my vice chair. But now that they're boycotting, why even bother? Why bother at all? This shall not be considered as the Federation's full and official statement. That's a shame. Apparently, if your entire government is authoring that document, apparently it is the Federation's full and official statement. I mean, since your own prime minister yesterday lied to me blatantly, um, the fact that um, he shared a conversation that I had with him in confidence, that that means absolutely nothing to me. I consider it a full and official statement, especially when uh, stylist, uh, one of his words that he uses often in his style, melodramatic. He often uses the word melodramatic and dramatic. That makes me to believe that such a statement was authored by both him and the rest of the Nemkhav government, which is why I believe that it's the Federation's full and official statement. Regardless, President Whitmarsh is working diligently on a full and formal statement. I wish to see that one. We're already at about 15 minutes here. Let's see how long we can make it. To be signed by multiple Nemkhav politicians, which will be released before Wednesday's quorum. Seeing that it's taken about, I came home at about 2:30. I was promised a statement either around then or about 7 o'clock a.m. my time. Um, and seeing that it's now about 7:30 p.m. my time, um, that's been about, at least 5 hours. So I'm going to guess that it's going to take you a rather long, long time um, to draft that full and formal statement. So of course I await it because hopefully maybe that will let me draw on my sarcastic side that many of you are not aware of when I actually do speak. Uh, so I await that because actually I do love to be sarcastic, um, and I do hope that I can draw it out, maybe to an hour actually. Um, Sounds like a challenge, as they say. Regardless, I, I I'm frankly amazed that some individuals actually believe that I have any sort of personal gain. Um, I've already expressed to Mr. Austin, I've expressed to Mr. Samut, and I expressed to Mr. Tierney on April 8th of uh, when we were first discussing this lack of confidence that the chair held, um, that I didn't want power. Actually, it was in the discussion that actually I wouldn't assume power, that rather I would step down as vice chair before the motion was held, and that another individual would take place, particularly perhaps Mr. Tierney or Mr. Austin. Pardon me, I'm doing it again. Mademoiselle Caesar. Um, um, but Mr. Tierney assured me that I could not put this on him or on Mademoiselle Caesar. Regardless, I surely await this full and official statement. I wonder how many times it will be changed since I've been told that Nemkhavia's official statement changes. Its official line, I believe the term was, changes according to what it feels. So actually, I await this because Mr. Whitmarsh actually stated before that he didn't actually have any confidence left in the chair, so perhaps there will be no confidence left in him by the end of this. I perfectly await that. It will be very amusing. Thank you.